Man, that was a tough workout. I can barely move my arms.
Yeah, but we did great. Time to grab some protein shakes, right?
Actually, I was thinking about a burger.
A burger? Dude, we just burned 500 calories.
Exactly. I earned it. Double cheese, extra fries.
That's not how fitness works, bro.
Come on, one burger won't hurt. I'll run tomorrow.
You said that yesterday.
True, but tomorrow I really mean it.
Fine, I'll join you. But only if we walk there.
Deal. Walking to the burger place totally counts as cardio. Haha.
Well, I'll agree with his buddy. That's not really how fitness works. If you've been hitting the gym hard, you're hitting it maybe 5 times a week. Oh, that sounds really dirty. If you're hitting the gym 4 times a week, you're sweating it out and you're so frustrated because you don't really see results, this video could be the reason why. And that's what we're going to be covering in this very exciting video. Hey everyone, welcome back to This Health Diaries. I'm Dee, and today is on Monday, and you know exactly what that means. It's time for us to demolish yet another weight loss myth out there. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Daisy, aka Dee, and I make weekly videos debunking weight loss myths. I am a certified diet coach, and I help women find sustainable and healthy ways to lose weight through my Better in 90 program. And today we are covering weight loss myth number 9, which is you can eat anything as long as you work out. And this is something that I used to believe. Like many of the myths that I cover in this series, I cover things that I once believed, things that I see people believing, and things that I understand would be confusing, especially if you don't understand the nuances. So today, we're talking about the ultimate sabotage tool when it comes to working out and weight loss. When you believe that you can eat anything as long as you work out, you get into this headspace where you think that your effort automatically equals weight loss, and that it doesn't really matter what's on your plate because as long as you're putting in the effort, you will see the results. But the truth is, weight loss does not really work like this. Today, we are going to do the actual math, and we're going to cover the inequality between calories in versus calories out, especially when it comes to post-workout meals. And I'll be showing so many videos of people eating post-workout meals that traditionally would look like an acceptable way to fuel after a workout because after all, you've burned all those calories in the gym. But I'll show you exactly why this isn't the case, but most importantly, or should I say, and most importantly, I'll give you the framework that you can use to fuel before and even after your workout and still enjoy those sweet treats without sabotaging your weight loss by eating too much after your workout. Or should I say too many calories after your workout? Let's get started. So let's start with the illusion of the calorie burn. I have seen so many people use working out as a way to earn that extra slice of pizza, that extra piece of cake, and there's a reason that we believe in these myths. So why exactly do we think that if we are working out, then it's possible for us to eat absolutely anything and still lose weight? There's a reason that this myth has such a grip on us. And it all comes down to how powerful and entitled it makes us, because we think that this is such a natural way of approaching food because I have earned it, I have worked out, that means I have earned the right to eat exactly what I want. And when it comes to why we think that it's okay for us to eat anything as long as we're hitting the gym, we have a few good reasons why. The first one is the psychological wipe the slate clean effect. And I'm going to explain this in a way that you have probably even experienced in your own journey. So first, let's talk about the emotional payoff of exercise. Exercise is a profound physical manifestation of effort. You're sore, you're sweaty, you've clocked the miles, and it feels like a moral cleanse. When we enter the gym, we go in with food guilt, and we believe that after we have intensely worked out, we physically erase those dietary mistakes. We tell ourselves, I burned 400 calories in that spin class, so I have a clean slate for dinner. Or I have earned this second glass of wine. The problem is we treat our calorie counter like a simple financial ledger. If we deposit 400 calories burned, then we can withdraw 400 calories consumed, which leaves us at net zero. But in reality, the diet clock resets with every single bite, and that psychological permission slip often turns into an overspending spree. The effort feels real, but the erasure is an illusion. And maybe you have already experienced this in your life. You have come to a point where you feel that because you have worked out so hard in the gym, you're so sweaty, then that means you have earned the right to eat something, right? And if you think that you're the only one who thinks that it's okay to wipe the slate clean after having a very intense workout, I'll show you a very interesting video that I came across on TikTok that shows someone else who also believes in this. Let's see what he has to say.
This is what I've settled for. So I got some fries, 20-piece nuggets, and I think a double cheeseburger or something like that. So everybody's always asking me like, hey, what supplements do you use? All this good stuff. Hey, can you train me? I will train your ass to be fat. I promise you that. I only work out so I can eat this kind of crap. So don't ask me for workout advice. I promise. But if you do work out with me, I'll kill your goddamn ass. But this is what I eat, so don't ask me for no meal plans. Unless you want to learn how to meal prep chicken nuggets and fries and Big Macs, all that good stuff. I got you then.
Okay. He walks out, then goes to McDonald's to eat chicken nuggets and fries. And I can see the appeal. That food, actually, no, I can see the appeal. I don't actually like fried food. But if I did like fried food, then I could see the appeal, because if I go to the gym, and that means that I can pass by a McDonald's and eat all that fried food, those chicken nuggets and those fries, then it will feel very nice. I mean, many people think that that's okay because you have wiped the slate clean, right? Okay, let's move on to the second point. Now let's talk about our gross miscalculation of energy expenditure. And this is something that I learned once I started paying attention to how many calories I burned in the gym or when working out. Because in the past, if you asked me how much I burned when I was strength training, I probably would have told you 300 calories. But when I actually started looking at the stats, I realized that after half an hour of working out, I've probably just burned 150 calories. And that's because we simply don't grasp the scale of the commitment required to burn the calories that we eat. I'm not saying that we actually have to burn calories in order to enjoy food, but if you're going for these very high calorie foods, then you have to actually consider just how much it will take for you to burn those calories. Now, most people don't realize just how inefficient the human body is at burning calories quickly. We spend 30 minutes struggling on the Stairmaster with our heart pounding and we're sweating very profusely, and we think, yes, I've created this massive deficit and I have earned a feast. And here's a video of a lady treating herself to a post-workout Starbucks treat that just shows exactly how this works in real life. Let's see what she does.
Hey besties, happy Monday. I wanted to talk about my Starbucks order today. I got a few questions, like asking what I usually get. I don't always get the same drink, but like lately this has pretty much been all I've been getting. Typically when I used to order this, it would be almost $7, but I figured out a way to order it so it's like less than $4. Basically, I get a venti iced coconut milk latte with sometimes with an extra shot, and then I get 2 pumps of white mocha and 1 pump of mocha. The coconut milk is extra, the 2 different pumps is extra, and then if I get a 4th shot, like that's extra. So this is how I order it now. I pretty much only do it if I'm ordering it on the app because like it's too much to order in person. So I do a triple or a quad shot on ice in a venti cup with coconut milk, and then 2 pumps of white mocha, 1 pump of mocha. It quite literally is just an iced latte, but like $4 cheaper and so fucking good. You don't have to get 2 pumps, you can get however many pumps you want, but please go try this.
Okay, she says please go try these, and as you can see, she captions these as anyone else treat themselves to a post-workout Starbies after consuming way too much caffeine before, or just me? So you can see this is her post-workout treat, and this is because when you look at the way that we think about our energy expenditure in the gym, we think that we've burned so many calories, we've earned the right to go out and treat ourselves to something. And in the context of this myth, if you stop and look at the actual numbers on the machine, you might find that you burned 200 or 300 calories. That is the energy equivalent of maybe 3 bites of a big slice of cheesecake or a single large latte like in the video we have just seen. The effort required to consume those calories in 5 seconds actually is 5 seconds. The effort required to burn them off is half an hour of intense exercise. We are victims of our own overestimation. It's shockingly easy to eat 500 calories and it's brutally hard to burn them off. And later I'll show you a video of someone who's trying to burn off calories, and you will see exactly how hard it is to actually burn those calories off. And now let's move on to that point why we actually believe that it's okay for us to eat anything as long as we're hitting the gym. And that's because we have normalized the idea that as long as you're hitting the gym, then you've earned the right to eat more food. I even saw this episode once on secret eaters, where the ladies who were in that episode said that as long as they had hit the gym, they had this hour where they were free to eat whatever they wanted, because apparently their metabolism was much higher after they hit the gym, and that meant that it no longer mattered what they ate. They had this actual leeway of a whole hour where they could eat whatever they wanted.
Tell me about your theory again of after you've been to the gym. What is it about metabolism?
It's at its peak, so it's burning calories. So you can eat whatever you want within the hour. With the profiteroles, I mean, that's after my workouts.
Lynn, is this theory correct?
No, afraid not. It's over the course of the day that you need to be looking at. So if you're taking in more calories over the course of the day compared to what you're burning off, then you're going to gain weight.
And as you can see, they ended up on Secret Eaters because they were taking too much advantage of this 1 hour, because it's something they had. They had, if you go to the gym, you earn the right to eat whatever you want. And that's something that we've all had at some point. And that's why you'll see people complaining that they're going to the gym, they're working very hard, and they're not seeing the results. And that's not because they're not working hard at the gym. It's not because they're not sweating it out every day. It's not because they haven't learned to use all the machines in that gym. It's because when it finally comes down to it, what they're eating after they've worked out is actually sabotaging them.
Home, as they begin the profiterole push-up.
Down.
Watching this video.
In what?
And now let's look at why this myth actually fails, and we'll go into very specific reasons that actually come back down to science. When it finally comes down to it, our weight loss, because this is a channel that's dedicated to weight loss, so everything that I talk about is related to weight loss. When it comes down to weight loss, it's all about thermodynamics. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter whether you hit the gym or you did not hit the gym. What matters is the energy you consumed versus the energy you used. So it comes down to calorie consumption versus calorie expenditure. And to explain why going to the gym does not actually mean that you can actually have anything that you want to eat, I will go into 3 very key reasons why. And first, we're going to talk about the calorie cost. And here, I like looking at it in terms of the 10-to-1 rule of effort. To understand the calorie inequality, we actually have to look at the cost. And in this case, when I talk about the calorie cost, I mean the time and effort needed to burn off the common indulgences that people engage in after they've been to the gym. And I call this the 10-to-1 rule of effort because the input is often 10 times easier than the output. And for some context, here's a video of someone trying to burn off calories after eating a McDonald's meal. See how much effort that will actually take. I actually really liked this video because this is something that I'll maybe want to attempt one day, but right now I can live vicariously through him.
How long does it actually take to burn off 1,800 calories of McDonald's? To find out, I used the world's most accurate calorie tracker. I started off with one of the highest calorie burning exercises you can do, vigorous uphill biking. After an hour of giving it all I had, I'm hoping for at least 600 calories. Oh, just broke 1,000 calories. My legs were exhausted, so I gave them a break by switching to what originally sounded like an epic idea, axe chopping. But after just 20 minutes of swinging like an amateur, my hands gave in. Pushed through the pain for another 20 minutes, so it's 40 minutes. Okay, 497 calories. To finish it off, I hopped on the Stairmaster, but to speed up the calorie burn, I added 25 pounds to a backpack. After 26 minutes, I burned off the final 340 calories to cover my entire McDonald's meal. It only took me 2 hours and 6 minutes in total. Holy shit, I am never eating McDonald's again.
Oh wow, a whole 2 hours to burn off one meal. Okay. Wow, that's quite a lot. So I'm not going to say that we need to swear off McDonald's, of course. Yeah. So let's look. Let's look at the disparity that lies between what we eat and what it will actually take to burn off those calories. And for this, I'm going to use a very interesting table. Look at that disparity. For us to undo one coffee drink, and I'm talking about this sugary coffee drink, you know, your latte from Starbucks, you will need 40 minutes of demanding resistance training. And here we are going to work with weightlifting. And to undo a quarter of a pizza, a quarter of a large pizza that's 600 calories, you will need a solid hour on the bike and you will be drenched in sweat. I mean, that guy really cycled uphill and we saw that he only burned 1,000 calories and that was an uphill cycle. And to undo an entire day of small, thoughtless indulgences, you'll really have to live in the gym because you'll have a quarter of a pizza, one Starbucks drink, a medium croissant, maybe at 270 calories, whatever you're eating, as long as you're increasing your energy consumption, you will have to increase your energy expenditure because we're talking about you're eating more than your TDEE, and to avoid going into a surplus, and you'll actually have to work that off. And that is why trying to outtrain your diet is a guaranteed path to exhaustion, failure, and zero progress. the time commitment required to burn off those extra calories is just unsustainable. Secondly, let's talk about the metabolic adaptation trap. The truth is that your body is much smarter than you think. If you exercise intensely and you do not control your calories, your body gets very good at conserving its energy elsewhere. And this is an evolutionary survival skill called the metabolic adaptation trap. If you force your body to burn 500 calories in a gym session, it immediately tries to compensate by dropping your energy expenditure the rest of the day. You might subconsciously move less, which is where you reduce your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which is abbreviated as NEAT or NEAT, and you might fidget less, or you might just feel like lying on the couch instead of taking the stairs. Your body just tries to balance the huge energy expenditure from the gym, and the deficit simply vanishes. And the result, well, the kitchen dictates your weight loss. The gym only decides your muscle tone and your energy levels. So at the end of the day, if it's not balancing, you'll end up in a surplus and you'll end up gaining weight, or you'll end up just eating at maintenance and you'll still not lose weight. And now let's talk about the crash effect that comes about from our food quality and the effect it has on our hormones. Like I said in a video a few videos ago, all calories are not created equal. And when it comes to weight loss, you have to forget the math for a second and think about hormones. Instead of just thinking about food in terms of calories in versus calories out, you also have to get mathematical. And for this reason, I'm going to show you a very interesting video of someone going to crumble after working out and why this might not be a good idea. But before I get into that, let's see exactly how the cookie crumbles. Okay, that's a very interesting video. The truth is that, wow, so many cookies. I actually got a bit hungry watching that, and the video is actually very well made. For some reason, I just couldn't stop watching, and I don't know if you felt the same way. I felt like I was watching something that was not actually meant for my eyes. But that said, I know people will not actually end up eating as many cookies as she did. Those were very many cookies, and I think that maybe this was kind of a crumble advert at the same time as she was showing us what she's eating after her post-workout. But that said, the truth is that there are very many people who will actually eat so many sugary things after they've gone to the gym because they think that they've earned. I mean, you've been sweating on the Stairmaster for 2 hours. Why not go to Crumble and get all these cookies? I mean, they really actually look so good. I cannot stop looking at the cookies, but I feel like that video was a bit yeah. When it comes down to it, let's compare foods, not just in terms of their calories, but in terms of the quality of the food. Now let's look at it in this way. A 500-calorie bowl of fiber-rich vegetables and lean protein will stabilize your blood sugar. It will keep your insulin low, and it will keep you feeling full for hours. That is a satisfying 500 calories. But now let's compare it to a donut. I know we've watched her eat very many things, so we're just going to focus maybe on the donut. And what about the donut? If you're taking a donut that's 500 calories, that donut will spike your blood sugar. It will trigger a massive rush of insulin, and it will leave you crashing and craving more sugary food an hour later. You could run a marathon, but the hormonal aftermath of poor food choices will relentlessly fight your weight loss efforts, driving you to eat more and store fat. And that is a battle that you cannot win with exercise alone. And on top of this, I also have to talk about the fact that your hunger hormones will fight back. And what do I mean by this? There is a powerful biological reason that the weight loss myth that we're covering today fails, and that's because of your hormones. Exercise is a fantastic tool, but especially intense exercise can actually trigger a sharp rise in ghrelin, which is our primary hunger hormone. The truth is that when you put your body through a demanding workout, your primal brain registers a massive energy expenditure and immediately sends out signals demanding replenishment. And this powerful biological signal makes the "I earned this" mindset even harder to resist. You're not just craving a reward, you're responding to an intense biological drive telling you to replace what you just spent. And this often leads to immediate compensatory eating that completely nullifies the workout. You think you're successfully navigating fitness, but you're actually battling powerful biology you have not yet mastered. And when I was going through this post-workout rabbit hole, I found a very interesting video that actually shows this reward effect. And she actually says reward. Watch this.
It's like a reward.
She actually says it's like a reward. And that is exactly how people feel when they're eating something that's very high in sugar, high in fat, or something that they consider decadent after they've had their workout. Now they're having their post-workout meal. Yes, it all comes down to the feeling of you're being rewarded for something that you've done. You're entitled to it. But as we have seen, that does not actually always work the way we will think it will. So what does actually work when it comes down to the world of fitness and eating? The good news is that we don't have to do away with exercise, and the fact is that if we can combine exercise with a good diet and put the two together, combining them, what we actually end up with is a very positive, powerful force that helps us not only lose weight but also keep it off, while also maintaining a good relationship with food and with exercise. But how exactly do we do that? I have forgotten how to speak. So this is what we do. We simply need to shift the purpose of exercise from a calorie eraser, which is a tool of punishment, to a metabolic amplifier, which is a tool for strength and efficiency. And here's my 3-step process of how you can achieve this, my 3-step strategy for how you can achieve this without sabotaging your weight loss journey. Number 1, you have to change your priorities. Instead of looking at working out as the way you'll get there, now let's use the 80-20 rule that people like referring to, where you prioritize your diet 80% of the time, such that, it's like the Pareto principle, like 20% of your efforts result in 80% of your results. So in this case, we look at it in terms of 80% of your results will come from exactly what you're doing in the kitchen, what you're eating, and then the 20% will come from your exercise. And when we look at it this way, we have a fundamental mental reset. We stop relying on the gym to fix a bad diet. Instead, we look at our weight loss success as something that can be secured by making good food choices. And to put this into effect, you have to calculate your calorie target for weight loss and commit to hitting that goal before you even factor in a single workout. See the gym as this powerful bonus for your fitness, not as a requirement for achieving your calorie deficit. And this separates your success from your daily sweat session, and that makes your results more predictable and more sustainable, as opposed to where you're just relying on working out to burn off those extra calories that you burn. Because as we have seen, you'll have to be cycling uphill and then going down to cut down trees like this guy did, and following that up with being on the Stairmaster for another 40 minutes. Do you have 2 hours every day to actually be working out to burn off 1800 calories of a McDonald's or of like a crumble cooking, whatever it is? If you prioritize your diet, it makes it much easier for you to hit your goals without going to these levels. And then secondly, we have to look at exercise's actual functions. Exercise was not meant as this way for us to erase our calories. Instead, exercise is a way for us to build and maintain muscle. The goal of exercise for weight loss is not to see the highest calorie burn on the treadmill. Your focus needs to shift from burning calories to building muscle. And for this to come into effect, you need to stop obsessing over cardio calorie counts. Instead, focus on building muscle through resistance training. That means you're using weight, you're using resistance bands, you're even using body weight exercises. Because muscle tissue is metabolically expensive. It burns significantly more energy at rest than fat does. And this process turns your body into a much more efficient 24/7 calorie burning machine. And that makes the work you do in the kitchen even more effective, because now you're supporting it through this muscle that you're building with working out. And here's the thing, you don't even have to go to the gym to work out, these muscle building exercises. You can actually do it at home. You can do your push-ups at home. You can invest in weights and work out at home. For example, because I don't actually like going to the gym because of the whole hassle of the commute and then bathing in the gym. I don't like gym showers and then sharing machines. There are many reasons I don't like going to the gym, but it works for some people. But now, if you don't like going to the gym or you can't go to the gym, you can actually make your own workouts as effective at home. There are many YouTube videos that show you exactly how to do this, and investing in weights and mats and the free YouTube videos, that's actually very sustainable and it's easy to do. So even if you in this mindset where you don't actually want to go to the gym for one reason or the other, whether the reasons are like mine or there are reasons like maybe you cannot actually maybe access a gym around you, then in that case you can actually make your own home workouts work for you. And finally, let's talk about actually what you eat, because at the end of the day we're talking about the fact that you actually have to get your results in the kitchen. 80% of your results have to come from the kitchen. And the truth is that many people are very disciplined when it comes to the gym. They go in, they are consistent, they are disciplined, they learn how to use the machines, they use the correct form, they do everything correctly. But where they fail is when it comes to what they eat. So how exactly do you avoid these pitfalls that we have been seeing in all these videos? And it's actually very simple, as much as it's actually a bit harder to achieve these. And what exactly is that? If you work out intensely, you want to fuel your recovery with protein. This is your superhero macronutrient when it comes to the gym. It helps you repair muscle damage, it supports muscle growth, and critically, it manages your hunger hormones much better than simple carbs or fat. Yes, much better than a McDonald's meal or that crumble cookie. A small protein shake, a container of Greek yogurt, or some lean chicken is perfect for these. And if you mostly eat plant foods like me, there are very many options that you can use. There's tofu, there's chickpeas, there's lentils. There are just so many nutritious foods out there that are high in protein that can help you fuel better than, yes, McDonald's and Starbucks and Taco Bell. And it's all about targeted nutrition. Think of food as medicine for your muscles, not as a reward for what you did in the gym. Now, if you have been feeling frustrated in the gym because you keep working out, you're very sore, you're very disciplined, people see you going in, but you cannot actually see the results, this is something that you actually needed to see, because I've seen many people get into this pitfall where they think that as long as they are really pushing hard in the gym, or even they are doing their 10,000 steps a day, whatever they are doing, they're taking the stairs, all of that, yes, is very effective. But if you're not following it up with a very good diet, then you are very unlikely to see good results. This is your call to stop trying to outrun or to out-work out a bad diet. What you actually need to do is prioritize your nutrition for a secure calorie deficit, and then use the gym or even your home workouts, like I said, to build a powerful, resilient, and healthy body. Once you get your plate right, then your scale will finally follow, because if you're trying to outrun a bad diet, not only is this very unsustainable, but it will put you in this uphill battle that is very, very hard and very, very frustrating to keep up with. If you're tired of the confusion and want a simple, effective way to lose weight without the extreme rules, my Better in 90 program has been designed to teach women how to achieve this balance. All the details on how you can join this program are in the link below. If this video helps clarify the true role of exercise in weight loss, please hit that like button. And if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. I post weekly videos on weight loss myths every Monday, and a very sure way for you to make sure that you don't miss out on the next one is to hit that subscribe button right now. And as we come to the end of our video, I'd like to ask you one question. What's one high-calorie post-workout meal that you cannot seem to resist? Let me know in the comments below. Right now, I don't really have one, but there is a time that I really went hard for chocolate-flavored Oreos. I had to have like at least one serving every time I went to the gym. But now I no longer have those cravings because I transitioned to a whole food diet, a whole plant foods diet, and I noticed that it's like my cravings just went away for some reason. I think it's the lentils. Until next time, bye-bye. Thank you for joining me.